I didn't plan on becoming the villain in my own house, but apparently that's exactly what I am now. At least, that's what my husband's mother called me, right before I told her to get the hell out. Let me rewind a bit. I'm 29, married to my husband Jake, 32. We've been together for 6 years, married for 2. We bought our house last year. Nothing crazy, just a cozy 3-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood. It was ours. Our first real, adult milestone. Then his parents lost their house. Or at least, that's how it was presented. Jake came to me one night looking stressed. "My parents are in a bad spot," he said. "They might need somewhere to stay. Just for a little while." A little while. Those are dangerous words. I hesitated, obviously. I barely knew his parents beyond holidays and awkward dinners. His mom, Linda, had this way about her. Not outright rude, but the kind of person who says, "Oh, I would never do it like that," and somehow makes you feel like an idiot. His dad, Tom, was quieter but had this constant look like he was judging everything you did. Still, I said yes. Because I'm not heartless. Because I trusted my husband. Because I thought it would be temporary. They showed up with way more stuff than temporary people should have. Boxes, furniture, kitchen appliances, even framed photos like they were moving into their forever home. I remember whispering to Jake that night, "Why do they have a blender when we already have one?" He just shrugged. They probably didn't want to leave it behind. That was red flag number 1. At first, it was small things. Annoying, but manageable. Linda would hover in the kitchen while I cooked. "Oh, you're using that much oil?" she'd say, leaning over my shoulder. Or, "We usually cook chicken a little longer, just to be safe." I'd smile, tight, polite. "Yeah, this is how I do it." She'd give that little hum. You know the one. Then she started re-cleaning things after me. I'd wipe the counters. She'd come in 5 minutes later and wipe them again. I'd load the dishwasher. She'd rearrange it. One time I asked, "Did I do something wrong?" She smiled sweetly. "Oh no, honey. I just like things done a certain way." Yeah, her way. Jake? Useless. I'd vent to him at night. "Your mom literally redid the laundry I folded." He sighed. "She's just used to running her own house." "This is my house." "Our house," he corrected gently. That was the first time that word made me feel weird. Our. Because it didn't feel like it anymore. Then came the privacy stuff, or lack of it. Linda would just walk into our bedroom. No knocking. The first time I was changing. I froze. "Linda!" "Oh!" she said, barely reacting. "I just needed the vacuum." "The vacuum is in the hallway closet." "Oh, well, now I know." She didn't even apologize. After that, I started locking the door, which apparently offended her. At dinner one night, she goes, "I don't understand why you feel the need to lock doors in your own home. We're family." I stared at her. "Exactly. It's my home." Tom chuckled under his breath. "Sensitive." Jake just sat there, silent. The comments got worse. More personal, more direct. I'd come home from work and Linda would say things like, "You look tired. Are you taking care of yourself properly?" Or, "When I was your age, I managed a full house without getting overwhelmed." Cool. Want a medal? One night, I made pasta. Simple, nothing fancy. Linda took one bite and said, "Oh, interesting flavor." Jake asked, "What's wrong with it?" She smiled. "Nothing's wrong. It's just different." Tom added, "Yeah, not really our style." I put my fork down. "Then don't eat it." Silence. Jake kicked me under the table. "Hey." "No, it's fine," I said, forcing a smile. "I didn't realize I was cooking for a panel of judges." Linda laughed like I'd made a joke. I wasn't joking. Then they started rearranging things without asking. I came home one day and my living room looked off. The couch was moved, the coffee table replaced. My plants were gone. "Where's my stuff?" I asked. Linda walked in like it was nothing. "Oh, I reorganized. It flows better this way." "You what?" Tom chimed in. "We've owned houses before. We know what we're doing." I felt my chest tighten. "That wasn't yours to change." Linda tilted her head. "We're all living here. It should feel comfortable for everyone." I looked at Jake. He rubbed his neck. "It does look nice." That's when something inside me cracked a little. Things stopped being subtle. They got bold, controlling. One morning, I opened the fridge and half my groceries were gone. "Where's the food I bought yesterday?" Linda answered casually. "Oh, I threw some of it out. It didn't look fresh." "It was literally brand new." "Well, it didn't look it." I stared at her. "That's not your decision to make." She crossed her arms. "I'm trying to keep this household running properly. This household was running just fine before you got here." Jake stepped in. "Okay, let's calm down." "No!" I snapped. "Why do I have to calm down in my own house?" Linda scoffed. "Because you're being dramatic." Then came the finances. This one still blows my mind. I noticed one of our utility bills was higher than usual, so I checked the account. Linda had logged into it, changed settings, even scheduled payments. I confronted her immediately. "Why are you in our accounts?" She didn't even look guilty. "I was helping. You were behind on organizing things." "We were not behind on anything," Tom added. "You're young. You don't always see the bigger picture." I laughed. Actually laughed. "You mean the bigger picture where you take over my life?" Jake tried to mediate. "They're just trying to contribute." "By controlling everything?" "They're my parents, and I'm your wife." Silence. That silence said everything. The worst fight before the final one? My family got dragged into it. We were at dinner, and somehow the topic shifted to how I was raised. Linda said, "I think a lot of your attitude comes from your upbringing." I froze. "Excuse me?" "I'm just saying, different families have different standards." "What exactly are you implying?" Tom leaned back. "We're implying you weren't taught proper respect." I felt my hands shaking. "Get out of my face with that," Jake whispered. "Hey." "No, Jake, say something." He didn't. Of course he didn't. That night, I cried in the bathroom with the door locked. Not just because of them, but because I realized something ugly. I was alone in my own marriage. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. Random, ordinary. Until it wasn't. I came home early from work. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Then I heard voices upstairs. My bedroom. I walked up slowly and pushed the door open. Linda was in my closet, holding my clothes, throwing some of them into a trash bag. What are you doing? She didn't even flinch. Cleaning. You're throwing away my clothes. They're inappropriate. I laughed in disbelief. You don't get to decide that. They're too revealing. You're a married woman now. I stepped forward. Put them back. She shook her head. No. That was it. Something snapped. Get out. She blinked. What? Get out of my house. Tom appeared behind her. You don't talk to her like that. Oh, I absolutely do. Jake ran upstairs. What's going on? I turned to him, shaking. Your mother is throwing away my clothes. He looked at Linda. Mom? She needs boundaries, Linda said calmly. I stared at him. Say something. He hesitated. That hesitation? That was the final straw. I screamed. I'm done! The whole house went silent. You've let this go on for months, I said, voice breaking. They disrespect me, they control everything, and you just stand there. Jake tried. I didn't think it was that bad. Because it's not happening to you. I turned back to his parents. Pack your things. You're leaving. Tom scoffed. You can't just kick us out. Watch me. Linda's face hardened. This isn't your decision alone. I stepped closer. It actually is. Here's the part no one expects. Jake didn't argue. He didn't defend them. He didn't even look surprised. He just sighed and said, Okay. I blinked. What? He looked at his parents. You guys need to go. Linda stared at him. Excuse me? This was never supposed to be permanent, he said quietly. Tom snapped. We lost our house! Jake shook his head. No, you didn't. Silence. I looked between them. What are you talking about? Jake exhaled. They didn't lose anything. They sold their house. My stomach dropped. What? Linda's face went pale. Jake. You told me you needed help, he continued. But really, you just didn't want to downsize. Tom muttered. That's not. It is. Jake cut him off. You thought if you moved in, you could just stay. I felt like the room tilted. All this time, I whispered. Linda tried to recover. We were going to tell you. When? I snapped. After you redecorated the entire house and replaced me? Jake looked at me, and for the first time in months, I saw something different. Guilt. And something else. Resolve. I should have stopped this sooner, he said. Yeah, he should have. They left that night. No dramatic goodbye, no apology. Just tension, suitcases, and slammed doors. You'd think that's the end. It's not. Because here's the twist. 2 weeks later, I left too. Not because of them, because of him. Because even though he finally chose me, he only did it when everything was already broken, and I couldn't unsee the months where he didn't. So yeah, I kicked my husband's parents out of our house, and then I realized it stopped feeling like my house a long time ago.
If you're into stories like this, hit subscribe. We post new Reddit stories daily.